Are you looking at moving to Southern Maryland and wondering about the pros and cons of each county in Southern Maryland? Well, in this video, I'm going to try my best to help you understand the pros and cons of moving to each county in Southern Maryland. I'm Rob Schou. I'm a realtor down here in Southern Maryland with EXP Realty, and today what I'm going to do is go over the pros and cons of living in Southern Maryland and break it down county by county. Now, we all know that Southern Maryland is huge, and it really depends on which county you're in and whether or not you're going to like the experience of living down here. So I'm going to try my best by giving a few pros and a con for each county, including Charles County, St. Mary's County, and Calvert County. Okay, the first county I'm starting with is St. Mary's County. St. Mary's County is where I live. I live in Piney Point, Maryland, which is kind of in a southern area of St. Mary's County. And that brings me to the first pro of living in St. Mary's County. I live in Piney Point because I live on the water, and the waterfront in St. Mary's County is affordable. Now, if you look at other Southern Maryland areas, the property prices compared to Charles and Calvert County, on a whole, on average, St. Mary's County is going to be more affordable. By affordable, I mean lower home prices. That doesn't necessarily take into the jobs that you're going to get in each one of those counties and you know how long or how much your salary goes towards those. But as far as buying houses at the prices that they have some of the best home prices in all of Southern Maryland. Now, there are pockets in Charles County and Calvert County that are also in line with St. Mary's County, but as a whole, St. Mary's County has some of the lowest home prices in all of Southern Maryland. Another pro that I'm going to tell you about St. Mary's County is it has the most shoreline in all of Southern Maryland as well. Now, Calvert County has a big shoreline right up the Chesapeake Bay, but St. Mary's County has the same shoreline on the Chesapeake Bay and also up the Potomac River, including the Patuxent River and other places like that too. So the amount of inventory you can get for waterfront in St. Mary's County is just so much more than any other county in Southern Maryland. And couple that with the home prices compared to other places in Southern Maryland, it really can be a good deal if you're looking for waterfront in Southern Maryland to look at St. Mary's County first. My third pro, and I think one of the neatest things about St. Mary's County, is everything's kind of spread out. You have more room down here for the most part. There's not any really high population density areas besides California, Lexington Park, and somewhat Leonardtown, but for the most part, you're looking at homes on bigger lots, maybe a half acre or so, or even more, and you can find places that are within maybe 10 minutes from places like downtown Leonardtown or even California, Maryland, where you can find multiple acres, 3, 4, 5, 10 acre homes that are on these properties. So a big pro of St. Mary's County is you're getting that property prices at a lower, but you might be able to find more land too if you want to live on a more rural setting. Now, that also brings me to my con, and it might not be a con for you, but because it is more spread out, because it is more rural, you're far away from everything. And I'm not just talking about, from the nearest airport, which is about an hour and a half away. I'm talking about if you're living in Leonardtown, you're still 10 minutes, 12 minutes away from California, Maryland, where Walmart and Target is. And then couple that with if you're living further north, maybe Mechanicsville, Charlotte Hall, places like that, you're 25 minutes away from the Walmart in California, Maryland, and you're 40 minutes away probably from base. You have to be comfortable in St. Mary's County to get in your car and drive places. And that's a pretty common theme throughout Southern Maryland, but I do feel like it's a bigger con in St. Mary's County than in areas like Charles County specifically. Okay, so the second county I want to talk about is Calvert County, Maryland. Calvert County, Maryland is kind of unique. I always think of it as like an upper St. Mary's County, which is that Lusby area and really south of St. Leonard, north closer to Anne Arundel County in that capital region. That area of St. Leonard and north, when you start getting into Chesapeake Beach, North Beach, Dunkirk, Huntingtown, it's a different housing market than the ones that are south and Lusby and places like that. But here are some pros and cons of Calvert County as I see. The biggest pro is you can be close to the capital region, but still live in Southern Maryland. So I'm thinking of places like Huntingtown, Dunkirk, Chesapeake Beach, North Beach. You're still pretty close to Annapolis and DC, within 45 minutes of both of those places. Now, that comes with a price compared to other areas in Southern Maryland, but it's still not as expensive as living in the capital region would be if you're looking for a similar type of house. Now, another pro that a lot of people, when they contact me, talk about is the fact that Calvert County ranks really high in every single metrics for schools according to niche.com. So if you have school-age children and a school system is something you're considering when you're looking to move, you might want to check out Calvert County. Now, on a side note, I didn't mention the schools in St. Mary's County, and I'm not going to mention them in Charles County because I'm going to talk about them right here. Maryland as a whole has highly ranked schools nationwide, and St. Mary's and Charles County still rank high on niche.com compared to other schools in Maryland. So my third pro is I think it's really neat how stratified Calvert County can be. So if you're south of Prince Frederick, say St. Leonard, Lusby, White Sands, places like that, you're going to be able to find more affordable housing than the average house in Calvert County. You're just going to find lower than average prices. Now that means you're going to be, one, in a rural area, and two, you're going to have to commute a little bit farther if you're going up to the capital region, but you're saving money and you're in Calvert County. And you're part of those school systems that we just talked about before. Now, the northern part of Calvert County is definitely seeing higher home prices, and it's 100% due to its proximity to DC, Annapolis, and all those capital region areas. And it just makes it so it's easier for someone that's looking to commute to those areas to live there. The home prices are more than other areas in Southern Maryland, but it's nothing compared to the places that are suburbs of DC. Now, that brings me into a big con of Calvert County right now. With more demand of people leaving the capital region and moving to Southern Maryland and limited inventory, home prices continue to creep up, and it can be really tough to find a house in Huntingtown, Dunkirk, and all those areas around the capital region, north and northern Calvert County. And no new building is really happening in those areas either. Now, a way to increase supply, of course, is to build new construction, and Calvert County right now is just not doing that. They're not keeping up with places like Charles County, which we'll get into in a second, or even St. Mary's County, which is building some. They're just not building nearly as much as other places. So that means inventory is going to stay limited most likely, and that means demand is going to outpace that inventory, especially in those high demand areas of Chesapeake Beach, North Beach, Dunkirk, those kind of areas, Huntingtown, that we were just talking about. Now, the last county I wanted to talk to you about and give you some pros and cons, of course, is Charles County. Now, Charles County is one of the most convenient commuting locations to DC we have in Southern Maryland. If you go up Route 5, Branch Avenue, you can get into DC pretty early, unless you're fighting traffic, which happens, but it can be one of the most convenient ones to get to places like Andrews Air Force Base or even Dahlgren in Virginia. It really is a central area for a lot of people to live. So with Charles County, one of the biggest pros is kind of the opposite of Calvert County. They are building right now. Charles County is really putting all their chips in on building homes all around the high population areas, whether it's Waldorf, whether it's White Plains, whether it's La Plata. There's tons of new builds going on, and they're not just townhomes, there's single family homes too. There are a ton of new communities coming into especially La Plata and just outside of Waldorf that have a lot of people that are living in, PG County and north, considering making that jump down here to Southern Maryland. That with that new building comes a lot more options. I'd say Charles County has some of the most fluid inventory we have in Southern Maryland, where there seems to be new and better stuff coming on the market constantly. I'd still say it is a seller's market, but buyers do have more choices when they're looking around Charles County, because you can look in La Plata and look at new construction. You can look at White Plains. You can look in Brandywine. There's tons of different new construction, and that doesn't even bring into account the existing homes that are going to be coming on the market too. Now, the biggest con may not be a con in your book when it comes to Charles County. Charles County is the most developed county in Southern Maryland. When a lot of people think of Southern Maryland, they think of very rural kind of area, and that's not what Charles County is becoming. Between La Plata being built up, White Plains being built up, Brandywine, and Waldorf, of course, we're seeing more and more development in Charles County than any other county. And some people say you're losing that Southern Maryland charm. There are still places outside of those developed places in Charles County that can give you that Southern Maryland feel. But also, if you just want to visit different places, you can do that too. I hope these pros and cons were helpful. And honestly, it's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. I've done tons of videos on each one of these counties that would definitely help you narrow down your decision. And if it's too overwhelming to look, just reach out to me. Call me, text me, and I'd be happy to help you. You can also use the comment below to schedule a Zoom meeting with me where we can talk about your home buying and selling needs in Southern Maryland. I really appreciate you watching this video. Hope to see you on the next one.